我们现在与咱们一起入场的是一位中国人寿中国球童成长计划的球童秦子瑶小朋友。接下来，我们以热烈掌声欢迎来自丹麦的名将大满贯冠军沃兹尼亚奇。And equally, let's warmly welcome from Denmark, Grand champion Caroline Wozniacki.
Do you believe in luck? Societies the world over have found myriad ways in which to beckon the mysterious intangible, meant to bring fortune. The four-leaf clover, rabbit's foot, ladybugs, fuzzy dice, all meant to be lucky. What about numbers? In China, 8 is considered lucky. Caroline Wozniacki is 8 years removed from her lone Beijing title. She has won 8 of 9 previous sets versus her opponent today. And yes, she is a victory from being the 2018 champion. If luck is to find its way to her side of the net, Anastasija Sevastova is in good stead with another lucky number, 7. Contesting the biggest final of her career today, it will be her 7th. And just in case, she's covered on the other front too, having had to play only 4 matches this week. Yep, 8 total sets, and she's won them all. Luck is defined as success seemingly brought on by chance rather than one's own actions. But let's be fair, and may the record clearly state, these two women, through perseverance, grittiness, and outright quality tennis, earned their appearance in today's championship. Luck had nothing to do with it. Denmark's Caroline Wozniacki going for her 30th career title, taking on Latvia's Anastasija Sevastova for all the marbles. This is it, the last match of the 2018 China Open. The women's singles champion shall be crowned in Beijing today.
Thank you. The other side as well. Thank you. 好，利用2位选手的热身之际，来介绍一下他们的近况。
It's the 15th edition of the China Open, the final premier mandatory event of 2018. Anastasija Sevastova of Latvia, soon to be the #1 ranked player from that nation, taking on the #2 player in the world, Caroline Wozniacki. Well, hello, tennis fan, and ni hao, Mademoiselle Amiak.
Bonjour, Monsieur Kevin.
They've gone about it the old-fashioned way. They went out and earned it. 2 women moving through to the final stage of this event, having not dropped a set. Either one of them in the contention to win the last to become the 4th different champion of the premier mandatory titles in 2018. And why not Anastasija Sevastova? The 28-year-old in the second act of her career, having retired for a while, came back and mightily has she performed. She's already picked up another title this year, and why not in Beijing as well?
And what an amazing career, and what a comeback from this woman. I mean, thinking that she was completely gone from the tour, came back with vengeance, and she's been playing some amazing tennis. Not to forget her semi-final at the US Open, coming into the Asian swing. Didn't play that well in the last 2 tournaments, but here, wow, she's been absolutely on target.
Turned out the lights on Sibylkova in a tough match, and then won her match yesterday that enabled her to move through against Wozniacki, beating Naomi Osaka, who had been on a roll, to say the least. The US Open champion, just no match for Sevastova's tricky style, her cutting angles, her drop shots, and just her overall tenacity. So it means that she has brought a 9-2 record into the final today to hope to take down the reigning world #2. Caroline Wozniacki cannot supplant Simona Halep, not yet, but a win today would put her within touching distance heading into Singapore, the title she defends. It was a pretty worthy effort yesterday. We were very impressed with Wozniacki's calm and composure. She said it herself. When she took on Wang Qiang, the #1 player from China yesterday, she said, I had to maintain my full focus, and she brought it to the forefront.
Well, she was focused enough. I mean, Wang, I think, ran out of gas. I mean, she's been playing so many tournaments, so many matches. The Chinese player, I mean, what an effort to get to the semifinal. But Wozniacki, she keeps showing the best of her tennis. The movement is impeccable. The end-four stairs, only 7 in her against Siniakova. That was absolutely incredible. 16 yesterday. I mean, she is just on and on.
You see those 29 WTA titles, 2 of them coming this year. Her 28th, mind you, was the Australian Open, finally getting that victory. Number 29 came in Eastbourne just a couple of weeks back on the grass courts. But since that time, she really was struggling until she arrived in Beijing. But she somehow has found the form that has been able to push past Bencic without dropping a set. Martic, no problem. Kontaveit as well. Siniakova was a solid victory.
That was a solid victory, especially with the 7 and first error only for Wozniacki. And you said it very well. She hasn't played, that well coming into Asia, and not that well since Eastbourne. But she loves playing in Asia. She has, what, 10 victory or 10 tournaments under her belt in Asia. So she loves playing here and definitely trying to repeat the 2010 victory. 8 years later, she's finding herself to have a chance again.
And for Wozniacki, she is indeed hoping that the Chinese number 8, which is lucky here in this nation, is going to be portending towards a big success today for her 2nd title at the China Open. Why, you ask? Well, because of this. They have played 4 times, and she has won 8 sets. She's 8 years removed from her single triumph here at the China Open. The only caveat, Sevastova took her to 3 sets in their last meeting earlier this year.
And that's what she needs to focus on, just the last time they played and how really tough it was for Wozniacki to come through that match. Mind you, it was on clay, so it's a little bit different here on the hard court. She's never beaten and never even come close to beat Wozniacki on hard court.
Maria Cicek in the chair from Croatia, usually with a ready smile, but a very stern taskmaster from the chair. She doesn't suffer fools lightly. She'll be monitoring the electronic line review as well as all the rules and regulations, already having handled the coin toss oh so well. Congratulations, Maria. A couple of 28-year-olds vying for the title on a beautiful day in Beijing. Skies are pretty bright overhead, and thankfully no specter of rain on the forecast. That means it's just all about the tennis today.
Yeah, the only problem is the wind. It is a little bit windy, and yesterday was windy already. Wozniacki did mention that in our press conference, that it was tricky. So we're looking at Ronald Schmidt, who has been working with Sevastova, also her boyfriend. And the cap is here.
The lucky cap from the coffee shop. It says, I heart Lapaya. Hoping that that continues to bring a little good fortune as we have luck as the theme for the day. But really, truthfully, when it comes down to it, these 2 women have gone that extra step. They have earned their position in the championship today. And now when it comes down to the matchup, you really have to find a way to expose a weakness. For Caroline Wozniacki, she hasn't shown much weakness this week.
No, not much weakness. I mean, and she's moving so well. She's not giving any points. As Dad watching on is definitely proud of Caroline, what she's been achieving here in this tournament. Just too consistent for everybody else so far in the field. Also taking advantage of her serve. I think she's been serving very well, which is going to be important to do today and get maybe some 3 points off the first serve. She's been acing as well. And for Sevastova, well, she's going to get all her trick, toys out of her bag and starts going with the slice, the topspin forehand to try to push that ball up above the shoulders of Wozniacki. It's going to be where she might excel and, get some enforced error from the Dane.
It is the final match of the 2018 China Open. Something has to give. Neither woman has dropped a set as of yet through their matches. Sevastova 8-0. Wozniacki 10-0 in sets played. There was a walkover that was issued to Sevastova, so she has a little extra in the reserve tanks as she knows she'll need it because the track shoots are on. They're laced up and ready to go against Wozniacki.
Yeah, and Sevastova has to get a perfect 10 on most areas on her game today and hope that Wozniacki level deeps down a little bit during the match. And if it happens, you're going to have to take advantage of it right then for Sevastova.
See what you did there. Perfect 10 as the numbers are the order of the day.
First set.
In China, 8 being the lucky number. 8 years ago, Caroline Wozniacki won this title. Sevastova contesting her 7th final, hoping it proves lucky to win the biggest title of her career. The championship match from Beijing begins with the Dane serving from the bottom of your screen.
Sevastova winning the toss, elected to receive. Sevastova mentioned in her press conference that yesterday she really returned well and served well. And one thing that I heard that you would never hear from her, I was calmer. on the court against Osaka. That paid off.
We called that match yesterday, and we actually commented on the moment that she just didn't have the emotional jags that occasionally seem to rear their head.
The usage of the court for Wozniacki, she's so sound tactically. Already moving Sevastova side to side, and also with that short cross-court forehand, really pushing her off the court.
Quality beginning for Caroline from the line, and she posts a hole to love just to set the tone for the day. And that may be important for Sevastova in that respect too, because as well as Caroline has been serving over the course of the week, we know what a terrific returner she has been over the course of her career, and she's actually improved her seasonal average in the tournament this week in her 5 matches, breaking opponents 55% of the time. That's up 15% from her usual average. So Sevastova is going to have to bring maybe not a perfect 10, but she's going to have to bring something similar to it from the line to be careful. She's looking for her 4th career title. She won in Bucharest earlier this year. She was also champion in Estro back in 2010. Calvia sandwiched in there last year. This would be by far the biggest of her career.
They have a similar game in the sense that they're both tremendous baseliner, counterpuncher, can use the angle so well, like Sevastova did on the cross-court short backhand. And this is absolutely beautiful. Talking about tactic. I bring you in, I love you, and then I pass you. Just because I don't have to hit a winner, I just have to hit it good enough that it puts you in the worst position to hit it. 1 here, and then finish. They're really feeling each other, you can tell, in this opening 2 games. And it's going to be who's going to be able to produce these kind of shots, especially the cross-court short. Really has been opening points for either of them. Well, and that's the serve that she's counting on also, Sevastova. She's been serving very well throughout the tournament, especially against Osaka. Osaka a little bit diminished physically yesterday, having and complaining and having a medical timeout with her back. I guess when you played that much tennis in the last, month and a half, it happens.
Yeah, the wear and tear of the season, let alone just on a tremendous run of late for the Chinese #1. She just could not quite match, or excuse me, well, both Wong and Osaka for that matter. And that ends the run of the perfect start for the servers as Sevastova's hole to love lets Wozniacki say, okay, is that how we're going to do it? as she throws the perfect hold. So Wozniacki, has full aware that she has dominated Sevastova on this surface previously, but that Rome three-setter has to be sticking in the back of her mind. As Sophie mentioned before, on clay, a little different wrinkle to the matchup.
Love it.
Trying to find the short cross court here.
30.
Come short. I still think the tactic of really hitting that forehand deep to the forehand of Wozniacki with a lot of topspin is bothersome for the Dane to hit anything above the shoulder level of the forehand.
Out. 40, 30.
Quality effort thus far in the opening 3 games. 2 holes to love, 1 virtual. After spotting Sevastova, a love 30 lead, she runs off 4 in a row, does Caroline Wozniacki, to assume the lead. 7 minutes into the championship final from Beijing.
Time.
"60 different women showing up in China to contest the China Open. 4 performance buys given to the semifinalists from Wuhan a week ago, as Anastasija Sevastova seeks to become the 12th different champion in Beijing, serving 1-2. Yeah, thus far in 14 previous editions, 11 different women hoisting the trophy here, including Caroline Wozniacki doing so in 2010. Sevastova, if she does prove worthy of winning this final, would become the lowest ranked champion, surpassing last year's winner, Caroline Garcia, who was 15 in the world.
Smart playing, taking her time. Very offensive of that forehand, but I think the depth started it really to set up this point when she hit the first ball and then those two inside-out forehand.
First point lost on serve by Sevastova. Just has to be careful not to leak too many unforced errors, even though it's still tight and she's in the thick of this opening set. 5 have come off her racket. Wozniacki so adept at using that to her advantage if there's a vulnerability.
That's indicative of what Wozniacki is trying to do on second serve, being more aggressive. Not successful here, but for sure sending a message to Sevastova. She's going to have to put first serves in. She's having trouble more on the cross-court forehand short, Sevastova, but the inside out or down the line are working very well.
After her 5th unforced error, smacks her 3rd winner to get the hold. And 2-all to keep touch with the world number 2.
Please.
Just a little adjustment steps though missing on that backhand, and getting that racket head lower to produce a little bit more top spin, low to high. It's a bit flat and ending in the middle of the net. Needs to correct that very quickly.
And looks continue over towards Schmidt, Sevastova's coach. Looks of bemusement and now starting to sort of make that turn into frustration. The calmness that she exhibited yesterday against Osaka already starting to show some fissures. And Wozniacki able to extend her lead 3 consecutive holds. On serve, no threats against either through the opening 15 minutes from the returner. As world number 2 back in the lead for a 3rd time.
Time.
Opening quarter hour, competitive between the two. Sevastova and Wozniacki just getting a sense of each other in this championship match. Their 5th overall meeting that has been dominated by the Dane previously. That's a tough aspect when you've been on the short end so many times in previous encounters. But Sevastova, the way she's been able to turn around her season of late, maybe giving herself a better chance. Took a set off Wozniacki for the first time in Rome. She's won 9 of her last 11 matches, but in a little bit dicey situation here.
Well, it's the consistency from Sevastova that's really not there. 3 times the amount of unforced errors of Wozniacki at 9. Corrected the mistakes of that backhand side, just being more aggressive and more committed to the shot, moving forward into that backhand and putting a little bit more topspin here, low to high, to go to the highest part of the net. First backhand winner. Wow, what a return. Who's going to challenge? Looked like it got a piece of that line. Chichak is right there, so for him not to overrule. Must be on the line. Sure is.
15 points.
This is now the first break point of the match here, going towards Wozniacki. 2 in a row here. She keeps going after the second serve return. So important here for Sevastova to try to go maybe right at the body. Get that first serve in.
And there is the break as Wozniacki takes over. She's got the lead she covets, and it's a 4-2 start.
A bit tentative, I feel, like Sevastova. Like she's not quite sure. She doesn't look like the racket head speed is going through the ball, and her 10th unforced errors is costly here with Wozniacki able to break.
Couldn't agree more. She seemed not only tentative, but as if she was trying to guide the ball. It's not the same fluid motion and the assertiveness that we've seen from Sevastova this week. And that little lull has come back to haunt her. Nifty. That is quality racket work, and she can be creative. She demonstrates it.
She's brought Wozniacki to the net a few times, and Wozniacki's yet to win a point at the net, 0 for 3, so it's working. You might actually do this more often, you know. Didn't have a choice but to come in on that short ball, Wozniacki, so why not making her come in out of will? Shot selection here. I like the fact that she wants to drop shot, but not quite sure it was the perfect timing.
And Wozniacki so good at coercing errors off of her opponent, just sort of having that little influence that draws the tension. And tension is what Sevastova is going to start to feel here if Wozniacki's making her move.
And you saw here, you know, the first serve is really what triggers that point. Just the quality of the serve, the depth. Giving her a chance to put that one away.
Yeah, there was certainly a time that one would be caught just being laughed at if you said Caroline Wozniacki's serve was a weapon. But over the last couple of years, there's been a demonstrative change, and she's been using it effectively.
Beautiful. She's definitely corrected the backhand error, previous backhand errors, and just putting a lot more topspin. A racket head is much more below the level of the ball before she swings through that ball, creating a low to high movement.
Miss Sevastova will fall on the right outside line. The ball is called in.
She's hoping. She knew that she probably couldn't do much after that return, but she might have cut the line once again.
Well, she's hoping for the margin of error, which is slight, and
she's got it.
It was slight, and she was right.
How big of a point that was. Could have been a point for 5-2. Still a chance here. Just going to challenge that one.
14-13.
Nope. That's an important point. That was close too.
Yeah, why not give it a shot? Because Wozniacki looks to extend her lead here. Maybe just get another peek. Yeah, too many errors and coming late for Sevastova. Of her 11, 5 have come in the last 3 games. Put her in danger.
Yes.
The Wizard of Woz. Oh, the wizardry is amazing. Just looking at the way she's able to put one more ball back.
It's like the cat and mouse game here.
Advantage.
What a get from Wozniacki. That was such a great lob. And what about this one? And completely collapsed on this overhead. She jumped way too early. You're right. Giving her another ball to hit.
And just been tempting fate too often, as the errors have been too frequent. And Wozniacki still unblemished. Not even threat, hasn't faced a break point, and the game away from a 1-set advantage. The opening set, China Open.
Aber du hast mehr ins Netz gespielt, wenn es aus. Schau, dass du ein bisschen im Drall hältst, das hast du jetzt eh gemacht. Und wenn du im Feld drin bist, dann trau dir auch nachgehen. Das passt schon.
Ich krieg wieder Abschuss.
Ja. Passt. Du sagst dir das. Du denk jetzt nicht, was sein wird. Du spielst Punkt für Punkt, was wir uns ausgemacht haben. Ja, du hast auch gute Punkte mit der Rücken gemacht. Ja. Denk nicht nach, trau dich spielen. Ja, schau, dass die ersten Punkte im Game, dass du nicht zu früh einen Fehler machst bei den Ballwechsel. Ja.
Ich mach keinen Fehler.
Eben deswegen. Warte auf der Chance.
Ich habe, glaube ich, auch einen Fehler gemacht. Einer.
Ja.
Und jeden ersten Aufschlag getroffen.
Ja, du warst zweimal dabei bei ihren Aufschlag gehen. Gib dir die Chance.
Was für eine Chance?
Ja.
Das ist keine
Time.
Well, if he's able to produce a comeback here with Anastasija Sevastova, and his counsel is worth pulling her back into this opening set, we got to get it right. The man just put the cap on in the background there to the left. That's Ronald Schmidt. He's not a Smith, and he certainly wants his name known if he is the architect to her comeback, at least partially. Schmidt and Sevastova met at the Better Tennis Academy in Vienna, Austria, his home nation. They were both coaches at the time, 3.5 years ago. Before they got together, became boyfriend, girlfriend, confided in each other, and Anastasija gave him a little elbow and said, "Hey, Ronald, got something to tell you. I'm thinking about going back, coming back out of retirement, and I think I could compete on the WTA again, maybe be top 100. What do you think?" He said, "Go for it."
I love it. Top 100. She's going to be to her highest ranking after this tournament. Move up to what? 12 and 11 if she was to win here. Impressive. Oh, they're more determination here. I think she wants to be a little more aggressive, which is exactly what the doctor ordered here, for her to at least make Wozniacki serve for the set. Just has to lower on the unforced errors as well. She's not that far here in this match. That's a little bit too short. Needs to find the depth, keep Wozniacki at bay, and be more consistent. And Wozniacki still really such a low count on unforced errors. It's admirable.
Sevastova almost got her wish straight out of the gates when she returned in 2015. She was 885 in the world, finished 10 spots outside of the top 100. And now at number 20 in the world. She's done it by posting consistent, solid results, and has well done admirably against the upper echelon. She's posted 7 top 20 wins this year, 4 of them against the top 10. And she pulls out from her bag of tricks one of those nifty little drop shots, seemingly from too far back, and cuts it oh so fine for the hold for 5-3.
5 games to 3.
Such a great shot. I mean, you can't see it. It's disguised very well, executed perfectly. I really think that she needs to bring Wozniacki more forward to the net and try to change the rhythm, because Wozniacki is just so strong from the baseline.
Oh, she read it so well. And that forward step of momentum got going. And then she turned that defense into offense.
Yeah, and she saw that Sevastova move forward after she hit that drop shot right here, moving forward. And what happened is you play behind her. And that's exactly what she did right here. She couldn't do anything off that beautiful forehand cross-court. Great move from Wozniacki to get to it. And again, the first serve winner.
That sets the tone, doesn't it, when Caroline's able to read so well, anticipate, and the movement is spectacular. That opening point just puts Sevastova on her heels. I can't make an effective drop shot and get to her. What is going to work? Well, there's a little support from the crowd. We wondered if they'd be behind Wozniacki. They love their former champions here, but she did break Chinese hearts yesterday in the semi. But this is just magnificent work once more.
Good move from Sevastova to try to really defend, but just the love's a bit too short.
And nothing seemingly working as Wozniacki, within 31 minutes, has a set point. Too good.
Spectacular. The hands of Sevastova. So much feel. And she didn't have a choice but to go with a slice because she was late on the attack in the cross court here. But look how she's able to control this. Nonetheless, saving a set point that way.
And the final put away for Wozniacki has her one set away from her 30th career title. She'll have a conference with her father, but closing in on perhaps a second Beijing title at this premier mandatory event known as the China Open.
Bardzo dobrze. Cały czas tylko jedno. Bądź skoncentrowana, kiedy bierzesz piłkę. Tylko tyle, bo wtedy jak bierzesz, to masz całkowicie non-stop przewagę. I nie dawaj się w jej grę na forehandzie. Pięknie grasz cross, super grasz cross, dobiegasz do forehandu, pięknie grasz ten cross, ale potem już jak czujesz, że ona cię powtarza, a możesz i masz czas, to zagraj jej przez centrum kortu. Żeby ona, jak tam stoi, to już nie ma forehandu, tylko będzie miała backhand. A z centrum kortu ci nie zna. Albo tak jak grasz przez linię. Tylko kwestia, jaka jest sytuacja. Wiesz, kiedy masz czas, że nie baw się z nią, bo ona tylko i wyłącznie to ćwiczy. Ona na tym umie to grać, robi różne rzeczy, świetnie dobiegasz do skrótów, wszystko jest dobrze. Tak, i bądź konsekwentna tak jak robisz. Przechodzisz ich konsekwentnie przez backhand, czujesz, że tego da ci miejsce, zmieniasz jej. A tak ją tam trzymaj, dobra? Bo ona wtedy nie ma co zrobić. Ona ci może zagrać na twój forehand. Tu się nic nie dzieje, bo ty jej wtedy grasz gdzie chcesz. No tak, bo ona I tylko Karolinka, patrz na wysokość piłki, kiedy bierzesz. To ci wszystko daje. Dobra? I powodzenia ci życzę. Świetnie grała.
Sevastova to set.
Caroline Wozniacki has handed Anastasija Sevastova her first dropped set of the 2018 China Open for the Latvian, trying to reverse the course of what has been a one-sided history. Wozniacki now having taken 9 of the 10 sets that they have played.
15.
Wozniacki has won the opening set in all 4 of their previous encounters and marched through to victory. And is hoping that break early, or actually midway through that opening set, was enough to break the spirit of the Latvian to push her across the line for a second title in Beijing.
14.
Well done. Great serve. Makes the difference. Only get something that she can play with off the return of Wozniacki. And the volley, perfect cross-court short as well. Well, you know that she's been doing this since the beginning of the match. Wozniacki just stepping into the second serve of Sevastova. Reason she was able to break once in the first set, and that was sufficient.
Sevastova gets off on the right foot to begin set number 2, and she makes the bid for the comeback and the reversal of the aforementioned history. We talked about the head-to-head with Wozniacki. Also, it hasn't fared well for her in the past. Feast or famine in her previous 6 finals. When she wins the opening set, she wins the title. But if she loses it, she's lost it. She'll try to reverse that.
Hopefully Sevastova doesn't know about that, but looking at the numbers, I mean, in the first set it was only 6-4 serve for Wozniacki, using her first serve to open the court as well and moving side to side Sevastova. Maybe in this set I think Wozniacki might go and wrong foot Sevastova at some point, just because Sevastova is anticipating the next shot. But the 6-4 serves is really what made the difference in this set. And still Sevastova not, she has yet to look at a break point. Gorgeous. And I like the fact that Sevastova is using more forehand to pressure Wozniacki. She's going to have to be more aggressive in that approach here with the backhand down the line. What about the touch of the half volley? A lot of running for Sevastova right now. Just dictating the points. Wozniacki not really by overpowering her, but just the placement of her shots. Perfect. That's where Sevastova needs to step forward and be more aggressive. Just do exactly what Wozniacki is doing on her serve.
That's 15.
This is a chess game right now. Both players coming up with such great shot. Perfect, sizing the shot perfectly. I mean, that was a great shot behind Sevastova. She's able to do even better with that lob and not overpowering on the overhead, just thinking, hey, I'm going to put a little slice here and put it right there. She has a little smile on her face. Really? I mean, this is textbook tennis. Loving it. The lob quality from Sevastova. Impeccable. Down low lob. Make your run. And why don't I just come to the net and finish right here with that volley. She's so smart at the net. Using the court and the geometry so well.
First break opportunity for the Latvian. It's been Wozniacki who had been serving impeccably through opening 5 efforts. Only taken to deuce once, and Sevastova can't capitalize on her first chance.
Advantage, Sevastova. Yes.
We're here, Wozniacki. She's encouraging herself after this first serve winner. Once again, the first serve quality is making the difference in this game and in the match, really. And I'm going to add throughout the tournament.
Good point.
It's coming.
Advantage, Wozniacki. Let's. Yes.
Wow. Just when we're praising that serve, I guess she's human and thinking out there also, and a bit nervous on that second serve. Not that Sevastova's been really hurting her, so why feel the pressure now?
Advantage, Wozniacki.
Just tailing away as Sevastova was beginning to demonstrate a little more assurance, a little more authoritative oomph into her shots, but the air has Wozniacki getting back to 1-1. Well, this is the second championship match of the day, so we have to give our congratulations to the New Haven champions that are now champions of the China Open. It was a battle of 2 teams that will be in Singapore. Sestini, Hlavichkova, Stritsova defeated Dabrowska and Shu. It was an exciting one, going down to 10-8 in the match tiebreak. Second title of the year, but the biggest between them. Congratulations to Sestini Abichkova and Stritsova.
Wow, going and wrong-footing Sevastova in this point.
Lovely.
Sure is paying off.
Love. 13.
Just as quickly as we mentioned the assurance she's playing with, Sevastova sees it just evaporate ever so slightly and leave herself exposed. A quick return to the pattern that saw her produce 14 unforced errors in the opening set.
She's definitely raising her level, Sevastova, in the second set. Did miss 2 opportunities to break, but it was also because of the quality of first serves of Wozniacki. But Sevastova more aggressive with the forehand. This is what Wozniacki does to you. She makes you hit with very little margin, very close to the line, because she's such a great retriever. And then the unforced errors piles up. It seems like both of them are getting hurt by being wrong-footed. This time it was Wozniacki.
14.
And Sevastova just too many errors in the third game. 3 are undoing. As Wozniacki characterized her semifinal as calm and collected, she can relax now, up a set and a break in the championship match.
Time.
No players ever defended their title run the year prior at the China Open. Caroline Wozniacki and Anastasija Sevastova have seen to it to reach the final and assure that that trend will continue. 3 former champions did show up for this 15th edition, though. Last year's champion Caroline Garcia losing in the latter stages of the tournament. Garbiñe Muguruza from 3 years ago ousted early. That just leaves Caroline Wozniacki, a 2010 champion, trying to become just the 4th woman to win this title multiple times. Serena Williams, Svetlana Kuznetsova, and Agnieszka Radwanska, all 2-time champions. Wozniacki in very good shape now, as we mentioned the fact that maybe she could relax here. Well, you know that she wouldn't technically relax, but she goes about her game so relaxed, even though there's so much effort that's put into it.
Tried to go for that cross-court short pass, unfortunately clipped the net. Lands in the alley.
Yeah, looking to snuff out the ambition and the hopes of Sevastova here with a quality hold. She had her most arduous effort from the line in the previous service game, saved a couple of break points that Sevastova will be ruining if she can't turn things around.
Directing traffic really at most points. Wozniacki, and unless Sevastova starts stepping closer to the line, getting a little bit more depth on their shot, see how short that is, it's going to be very complicated for the Latvian to come back in this match.
And Wozniacki's second hold amongst her 7 service games without dropping a single point extends her to 3-1.
3 games to 1.
Now Wozniacki, one of 5 women who has now qualified for the postseason in the WTA final sense, that is, will be in Singapore to defend her title from last year. At the time, the biggest title amongst the 27 that she had collected. Obviously, Melbourne this year trumps everything, finally getting over the hump as a major champion. Sevastova herself also in good position to qualify for a postseason berth. Accumulated enough points at this juncture to be headed to Zhuhai if things stay the way they are at the WTA Elite Trophy. Both women going for their 40th match win of 2018 puts them in good stead for those late tournaments.
Oh, can't miss that. So surprising. She normally just dumps it short. Yep. He's upset.
Maybe.
Talked about belief in her press conference, saying that she believed in herself more this year, and especially with the confidence and the wins that she had at the US Open, reaching the semifinals. But right now, not sure she has much belief in that match.
15-13.
Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, the wind in her sails just seemed to just be taken away. They're just hanging limp on the old mast, and I think it goes back to even previous to being broken, when she couldn't break, when she couldn't convert on the 2 break opportunities. And you mentioned it very well that Wozniacki served very exceptionally during those break points, but still Sevastova knows that she hasn't had a lot of looks. And I believe that disappointment may have carried over, because Wozniacki has been on a tear since.
Decided to go right at the middle this time, which Wozniacki anticipates every time one side or the other, so that's a very smart play. Good to hang in this game. The forehand cross-court defining this winner down the middle. You know Wozniacki is going to attack that second serve. Oh, she missed it. Oh, that is horrible right here. I think Ronald Schmidt now is eating the hats that he threw earlier on the backhand volley.
Still in his head, but it's close. I'm not sure that thing's going to be too tasty, but you're absolutely right. She did everything so well to get her in position.
And this just put away right here. She's on her back foot, unfortunately.
And once more, her game starting to unravel. Now she's hit double digits and unforced errors. These last two have put her in serious jeopardy, as Wozniacki sizing up an opportunity for 4-1. Oh, there it is. More wizardry from Woz. As Caroline looking to turn this match into a sprint towards the finish line. Magnificence once more from the racket of the Great Dane. Double break lead in set number 2.
Glaub dran. Gib dir die Chance bis zum Schluss, dass du voll dran glaubst. Du spielst super Tennis. Okay? Probier's zumindest.
Ich probiere schon.
Ja.
Wie eine Stunde.
Ja, und du ziehst es jetzt bis zum Schluss durch. Und du glaubst, ja, dann gibt es dir die Chance. Du wirst es nur fertig spielen, dass man keinen Vorwurf macht. Glaub dran, du kannst dich schlagen.
Time.
Glaub dran. Lege. Du bist stark.
Just a quick personal question, tennis fan. Do you like your tennis predictable? Do you like to do the route that it seems to week in, week out? Do you like a little variety? Well, if you like the latter, you might want to pay more attention to the WTA. 4 different major champions in 2018. 4 different champions will be crowned at premier mandatory events this year. Of course, outside the majors, the premier mandatory events in Indian Wells, Miami, Madrid, and here in Beijing, they stand brightest and the most prestigious. Well, we know how things fared at the majors this year, but Caroline Wozniacki trying to join Naomi Osaka as the only player to win a major and a premier mandatory title this year. Sophie, as Caroline Wozniacki looks to distance herself further from Sevastova. Remarkably, you go back 2 years ago to this very event. Agnieszka Radwanska won the China Open. This will be the 9th different champion in the premier mandatory events in that time span.
That's what I call depth in women's tennis. Love it. Never know who's going to win the tournament when they all start. Every round is difficult up till the end. Well, Sevastova has a long way to go if she wants to come back in this match, but it's not over. She's got to believe. She was visited by coach, boyfriend Ronald Schmidt, and still, you know, you can tell that she's hesitating. She doesn't look as confident as she's been. Credit to this woman. It's been so tough throughout the tournament. Not giving much to her opponent. Double the amount of unforced errors for Sevastova, 26 right now for 13 for the Dane. Tells the story.
Yeah, got to be a challenge here from Caroline. We hear from Cicak that indeed we will see the electronic review.
But the reason that forehand kind of almost went out, if it is out, so went out, is because the acceleration of Sevastova was such that Caroline was a little late off the forehand, mishit that ball, and that went out. So take note, Sevastova, hit that forehand, go for it.
And Sevastova will have another look. If indeed that was a deflating moment back in game 2 when she had a pair of break points and couldn't convert, that gave and kick-started Wozniacki's run of 4 straight games. She's got one more hope.
And what does she want to do right now, Sevastova? Make the return down the middle. Make it. Make her play. Just magnificent the way that she's been playing the important point. Wozniacki. Although she did get into the rally, Sevastova, that was good to get that return in, as previously on the 2 break point that she had, it was really Wozniacki hitting first serve winner.
Yeah, I mean, winning 6 of the 8 big points. If you talk about momentum and shift on break, saving. 2 break points, and or excuse me, saving all 3 break points and converting 3 of her own. Sevastova right back in it. One more shot. Just got to keep giving herself an opportunity. At some point, you would imagine, at least maybe to get one of the 2 breaks back. But it's been a difficult ask.
She's just making you hit that one shot that has so much more risk. Wozniacki just so consistent on the important point. I mean, she's been having a little bit of a letdown in this game, but is Sevastova going to be able to take this one and seize the opportunity? There's that serve. That's the important time as well on the due side. first ace of the match, probably at the most important time, just for her to keep holding here. Sweet.
Miss Wozniacki challenge the corner of left baseline.
You can tell that all of a sudden, you know, Wozniacki's a little bit worried, making a little bit more mistakes than she's made throughout the match. Oh, she was wrong to challenge. Just good on that. Maria Cicak.
Wozniacki has one challenge remaining.
This is a tough game right here, and that could put really Sevastova back in. She's asking for Maria Cicak to ask the crowd not to get too involved. That she didn't go down the line and wrong foot, maybe try to wrong foot Sevastova, who's been really running and anticipating always to the opposite side. And what a lob once again from Sevastova.
And there it is, Sevastova with some breathing room. She too can calm her nerve just ever so slightly, as one of the two breaks she suffered in the set has come back on her side. It's not enough to be feeling free and easy, but it certainly gives her hope.
Well, it sure took advantage of the little bit of a letdown of Wozniacki, just giving a bit too many unforced errors in the 3 points in that game. And good on Sevastova. Just needs to keep believing.
Ladies and gentlemen, take your seats quickly,
trust
please.
that she can come back in this match mentally.
Cicak admonishing some of the fans who have gotten up and started to move around there in the line of sight behind Wozniacki, as well as a few behind Sevastova. So order needs to be restored. We have to appreciate the confidence needed for Sevastova to start pulling out every aspect in her bag of tricks, but she has to be careful not to get too casual about going about her business here. Allow Wozniacki to get some momentum back.
Oh, well done. It's more aggressive. Finally get a short reply here. Something shorter. And she hasn't used that serve very well.
Magnificent. She's a fighter, and she wants back in.
Well, you want to see some really different shots in tennis, and slice, and drop shot, and movement. Well, here is the point of the match, I think, right here.
Wozniacki's reply long, and Sevastova back in the hunt. She closes to within a game. Still down a set and a break in the championship. She's back in the motion and has her vying for what would be the biggest title of her career. She'll need 3 sets to do it.
Uwagę na te piłki swoje, co ty grasz. Jak ty grasz dobrze piłkę i ona ci gra krócej, tutaj z tej strony, jak ona ci gra krócej, Niuniek, i tak dalej, to jak podchodzisz do niej, to nie myśl, gdzie ona biegnie, tylko to, co ćwiczysz. Patrz tylko na piłkę i przejdź tam, gdzie chcesz. Możesz grać po linii, możesz grać cross, możesz grać przez centrum kortu. Karol, to musisz być zdecydowana. Widzisz, że jest piłka, bierzesz ją w najlepszym momencie i z timingiem zdecydowanie przechodzisz. Nie myśl o niczym innym, dobra? I tak jak robisz, serwujesz dobrze, returnujesz dobrze, grasz porządnie, dobrze rozwiązujesz grę, ona cwaniactwem chce cię wciągnąć, coś zrobić. Nie przejmuj się, bądź konsekwentna, tylko kończ uderzenia. Bo ty masz cały czas przewagę, tylko ona wygrywa tym takim, wiesz, czasami tu, ty zagrasz, ona gdzieś tam przeleguje. Także jak podchodzisz do tych piłek, to tylko patrz na nie, konsekwentnie je przejdź i tak, dawaj tam, trzymaj.
Back enjoying good support once again. Caroline Wozniacki, champion 8 years ago. The Chinese fans are not as heartbroken as we thought about the loss of Wang Qiong yesterday. But Anastasija Sevastova starting to garner a lot of attention and support now. A couple of games back-to-back to put her within one of Wozniacki, who truly, if she returns to the form that we've seen over the course of this week from the line, this should be enough of a lead to get her through to her 30th career title. But Sevastova will have a lot to say about that as the belief has returned to the Latvians' game.
This is important for her not to give this kind of points. The second serve, she has a chance here, and just hands a gift to Wozniacki. For herself, should look for the first serves here. Get that percentage high again. Well, she's visiting Beijing right now. Sevastova, Wozniacki moving her all over the place.
Our tour guide from Denmark is really showing her around, isn't she? Yes, so Wozniacki's had to work a lot harder in this set. Sevastova's done well to put pressure on Caroline's serve, far more than the opening 33 minutes. Wozniacki only lost 7 points in 5 service games in that opening frame.
Made it right on the line. Way to take some chances here. Very explosive. In that forehand, she cuts the angle, gets closer to the bounce. Boom.
Yeah, the tennis equivalent of a roundhouse punch. She had to go for the big blow. She had no other choice. Winner or down 40 love.
She's getting a little nervous here. Wozniacki.
30.
It's 2 points where she is hitting the line. And this one was much more difficult, I would say, because the pressure that Wozniacki put coming forward.
And yes, Sevastova found just a nice easy motion, delivers the blow, and once again, 3 of 4 service games in this set. Wozniacki under scrutiny. And everything's starting to become just a bit of a bother.
She's going to get a code violation very soon.
Sportsmanlike conduct warning, Miss Wozniacki.
Yeah, she was going to get it just because of the language when she addressed Maria Cicak.
Yeah, it's not actually the language. It was the way she slapped the ball at the ball kid, and that's come under scrutiny lately for tennis players this week especially. So code violation for Caro. It seems to inspire her to get the deuce as she faced break point. A bit agitated right now and looking to use it to her advantage. Yeah, she did use some colorful language towards Cicak in the chair and says you don't do, well, let's say much. But that's not what the code violation was for. Oh my.
Such a touch again off the half volley, sizing it perfectly. She needs to really take advantage of every opportunity right now, Sevastova, especially the fact that Wozniacki is a little bit nervous.
A bit agitated as well.
Yes.
She knows how important that was, just to miss that deep. Well, the main reason of this set getting closer is because Wozniacki's level definitely deep down. 15 unforced errors so far in this set. She only had 6 in the first set.
That is a decline that will not sit well with Caroline. Facing a third break point.
Yes.
Just wide as Sevastova was going for the line once more. Just again, quizzical why she wouldn't just at least put it in play.
Just put it in the middle. Have to make her play. You can't just give her a free point. Not at this stage of the match.
Took 8 minutes to break Wozniacki in the previous service game. Another long drawn out exchange between the two.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
Wozniacki extricates herself from some serious danger, allowing Sevastova back in, not to be. Saves 3 break points to move within a game of her second title in Beijing.
Such a huge opportunity missed from Sevastova here. I almost felt like this was almost as important as match points.
Quickly, please.
Not sure where everybody's going. There's a lot of movement in the stands, people moving around. It's like, this is it. This could be the championship right here. Sit down.
Let's
Assuming that's why you went out and got the tickets. Let's go, people. Sevastova serving to stay in the final.
Love it.
And Sevastova starting to crack.
Well, she had to climb a little hill earlier to try to break Wozniacki. This is now a mountain that is ahead of her to come back in this match.
Yeah, not only a mountain, but there's also a big boulder rolling right at you. And that is Wozniacki's effort on the other side of the net. That's called wide, but it's corrected from the chair. Cicek sitting right above that line, making the call.
I'm surprised because this looked really wide. But Cicek to overrule. She didn't see it on the line. Sure did.
She saw it. She called it. And Wozniacki's bid is overruled.
3 play points.
Magnificent, and when it matters most. Able to take a defensive move, almost what everyone else would look as a last grasp and hope, into a very impressive offensive shot that puts her to championship point.
Well, it's now or never for Sevastova. Just to be able to stay in the rally for so long and then trigger a forehand winner at this stage of the match is pretty impressive. She hasn't used that serve wide enough today. This one, good timing on it. Second match point save.
Title number 30 for Caroline Wozniacki, as she maintains her mastery of the Latvian Sevastova as well as the field in Beijing, marching to the championship without dropping a set, and finishes unblemished. 8 years after her first triumph at the China Open, she's crowned champion for a second time with a 6-3, 6-3 win in an hour and 27 minutes. And the world number 2 reigns supreme at the final premier mandatory event of 2018.
Well, that was a great performance, especially when she really had a little bit of a letdown and she was able to pull this one off in 2 sets. I mean, missed opportunities in the second set, especially for Sevastova. She's going to think about those 2 games where she had break points and could have done better to make it even in the second set to 4-all, but wasn't able to do so. Just Wozniacki too solid throughout this tournament. Was better and better, playing the important point really when she needed it the best of all players in this field.
Well, she wasn't always comfortable. She didn't look her usual calm and collected self today. She was agitated by the fans. She was bothered by Cicak in the chair, but it didn't distract her from her goal. And that was picking up her 22nd hard court title and her second at this premier mandatory event. All in all, a 30th career title coming to the Great Dane.
Yeah, I mean, she should be very, very pleased. I mean, coming back from not having played so well since Eastbourne, where she won the tournament on grass. This feels like it was last year almost, but, you know, knowing that she's qualified to the WTA finals in Singapore, and the way that she's finishing the year like last year, that could be another back-to-back win. How about that in the WTA finals? That would be incredible for her.
Why not? So the way she's playing now as she peaks once again. This is reminiscent of her career the last couple of years that we have seen. When she gets in the latter stage of the season and she seems to be wobbling a bit, she finds a rich vein of form. She puts together the match wins needed to win this title and now joins a quartet of other women with 3 titles this year, chasing Petra Kvitova with the most with 5. She joins Mertens, Halep, and Svitolina with a trio of titles in 2018.
She didn't have to face any seeds in this tournament because all the seeds were losing before they even got to her, which is, I think, the first time that the tournament is won here in Beijing without being a seed going through all the way. And looking at the numbers, look at the unforced errors, 21 total for Wozniacki, and that was 21 alone in the second set for Sevastova. So did have a little bit more in the second set, Wozniacki, but just at the end when it counted the most, she was able to finish and go through the finish line. Sevastova is going to look at 2 really good and big opportunities in the second set that she couldn't see.
For Sevastova, it's just a tough matchup. She falls to 0-5 lifetime against Wozniacki, having taken just 1 set. And there's something about that activity that Wozniacki creates. It neutralizes all the effectiveness that Sevastova has in her game with the angles, with the drop shots, with the ability to change pace. Caroline just too good, and once again proves her medal today. She is one of 5 players. The top 5 there have already qualified for Singapore. Those last 3 positions still in doubt.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun end of the year. We've had that in many of the last, 2, 3, or 4 years on the WTA Tour. And just knowing that there's 3 spots and a couple tournaments left to play. We saw that Pliskova has received the wildcard in Tianjin. We have Mertens, who is in contention. We have Stevens. We have, I mean, there's a flew amount of players for Sevastova. Not sure if I think she had to win this tournament to have a possibility to be in the final, in the WTA finals. I think she might be out of it now.
Yeah, I believe you're correct. I think Singapore's out of the hunt now, but she does seemingly be in great position to be able to show up a week later in Zhuhai for the WTA Elite Trophy amongst a number of players like Sabalenka, who's been hot of late. Pliskova, potentially, if she doesn't get through, she might be in Zhuhai as well. So those postseason tournaments are starting to wait to see how things shape up to affect them. But let's go back to what we've seen in 2018 in the remarkable variety, shall we? Let's talk about the majors first. Caroline picks up her first major title in Australia. Simona Halep picks up her first major title at Roland Garros. Kerber comes back after a dismal 2017 by her standards to win Wimbledon for a second time, and it finishes with Naomi Osaka winning the U.S. Open. So there you go, 4 different women. But on the premier mandatory side as well, 4 different champions.
Yeah, I mean, it's just telling of the depth of women's tennis. It's just amazing. When you watch any of the matches right now, they are all very competitive from the beginning till the end. I think it's proven that the field is so big that it makes it very exciting and interesting even to the end of the tournaments right now, with those 3 last spots for the WTA finals who are going to be competing in the last week.
But, you know, I feel great being here and having won again. 8 is my lucky number, and it's 8 years ago I won here. So, you know, I felt like it was my year.
Absolutely, absolutely. 刚才他已经讲到这个，我们一会儿还会问他这个问题。到赛场他颁奖的那一刻，他确实讲，因为8是他的一个幸运数字。我曾经跟他讲过，也是中国人的一个幸运数字。他很开心，他一会儿把手写清单以后，因为是吃完有2年，因为是做了刚才的一个手印，一会儿要捧起这个现在的奖杯，这是8年后
and now Wozniacki in the 4 premier mandatory events. And if you go all the way back 2 years ago to this event, Agnieszka Radwanska, that makes 9 different champions at these prestigious WTA events in the last 2 years' time. So they'll set the stage for the trophy presentation, of which there are rich rewards to be had. We mentioned the 30th career title for Caroline Wozniacki. She will also get $1.5 million to add to her already $31 million in career prize money, and also a very valuable 1,000 ranking points, which doesn't allow her to move to within #1 or surpass Simona Halep, but it certainly will make things interesting in Singapore.
Well, it gets her closer, that's for sure. And you know, she did regain a #1 spot in the world after winning the Australian Open at the beginning of the year. I'm sure, you know, it would be great for her at some point. Maybe, I'm not sure if she can do it at the end this year with the WTA finals, but it sure, you know, might be something that she's looking forward to in 2019.
Yeah, definitely possibly within reach. Once again, if she's within 1,000 points of Halep. By the way, for Sevastova, $763,000 as runner-up. She falls now to 3 and 4 lifetime in career finals. But really, to be able to get through to the championship match of Beijing and the China Open could be a good stepping point for her to continue on into 2019.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, I look so forward to what's going to happen next year with also the name of the Osaka, the Sabalenka. I mean, Sabalenka has been tremendous. I mean, such a powerful hitter, and we're going to see more and more of those two ladies who I think are going to be winning a lot of Grand Slams coming up in the next 5, 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And also there is a caveat, a little bright silver lining for Sevastova, regardless of the fact that she lost in straight sets and will have a little time to really kind of get over what will be a very sobering defeat at the hands of Wozniacki. She will ascend to a new career high ranking of #12 in the world. Not bad for somebody who was retired 4 years ago.
Yeah, not bad for somebody who was coaching in an academy. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. I mean, the move in the ranking, and if you look at her progression in the ranking, even more amazing for Sevastova since she came back from retirement because of all the injuries that she sustained. She was just getting so tired and fed up with getting you know, back on the tour and on the court from injuries, and it wear and tears on you, not only physically but mentally. But when she came back with a vengeance, and at a better and higher level than ever.
Just about to take things down to the stadium court as the trophy presentation to the champion about ready to commence. Caroline Wozniacki, her 22nd career title on a hard court. Gives her 30 over the course of her career. That puts her in good stead. 4th on the active list currently.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018
She'll gladly
China Open
accept the rewards here in Beijing.
2018中国网球公开赛女子单打颁奖仪式现在开始。
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Before the ceremony starts, let's give a round of warm applause to the 2018 China Open co-tournament directors, Mr. Alfred Zhang, Mr. Thomas Rose, chair umpire, line judges, volunteers, ball keys, and all tournament staff for their excellent work.
尊敬的各位领导、各位嘉宾、观众朋友们，大家晚上好！在为运动员颁奖前，让我们用热烈的掌声，向2018中国网球公开赛联合赛事总监张军慧先生、托马斯·罗斯先生、当值主裁、司线、志愿者，以及由中国人寿中网球童成长计划筛选和首都师范大学附属育新学校的球童们，还有全体赛事工作人员，表示衷心的感谢。
Thank you. Now, please welcome the Champions Trophy of China Open, the Cups of China.
感谢大家。首先，让我们有请中国网球公开赛冠军奖杯——中国之杯闪亮登场。
There are a total of 4 trophies for the champions of the China Open. Together, they are called the Cups of China. Now we will present the women's singles trophy.
中国网球公开赛冠军奖杯共4座，合称中国之杯。现在登场的是即将颁发的女子单打冠军奖杯，其创意取自中国国家博物馆馆藏国宝文物商墨周珠紫龙鼎。手持奖杯奖牌入场的是2018年北京市第15届运动会网球比赛的冠军选手，东城区业余体校的张国雄和首都师范大学附属育新学校网球队的郭经纬。
Now, please welcome the players and the presenters for the award ceremony.
下面有请获奖运动员、颁奖嘉宾入场。
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 China Open Women's Singles runner-up, Anastasija Sevastova.
获得2018中国网球公开赛女子单打亚军的是拉脱维亚选手塞瓦斯托娃。
Mr. Zhao Wen, Director of Beijing Municipal Bureau of Sports, and Ms. Mickey Lauer, President of Women's Tennis Association, will present the trophy to the runner-up.
有请2018中国网球公开赛组委会副主任、北京市体育局局长赵文先生为亚军选手颁奖。同时，有请国际女子网球协会总裁米奇劳勒女士陪同颁奖。
Congratulations to Anastasija Sevastova. Please take a picture with the presenters.
让我们再次向塞瓦斯托娃表示祝贺，请颁奖嘉宾与获奖选手合影留念。
Thanks to our presenters.
再次感谢颁奖嘉宾。
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2018 China Open Women's Singles Champion, Caroline Wozniacki.
获得2018中国网球公开赛女子单打冠军的是丹麦选手沃兹尼亚奇。
Mr. Li Chuan, Deputy Director of General Administration of Sport of China, and Mr. Su Hengxuan, President of China Life Insurance Company Limited, will present the trophy to the champion.
有请2018中国网球公开赛组委会主任、国家体育总局副局长李颖川先生为冠军选手颁奖。同时，有请2018中国网球公开赛钻石赞助商中国人寿保险集团副总裁、中国人寿保险股份有限公司总裁苏鹏轩先生陪同颁奖。
Congratulations to Caroline Wozniacki. Please take a picture with the presenters.
让我们再次对沃兹尼亚奇表示祝贺，请颁奖嘉宾与获奖选手合影留念。
Anastasija Sevastova, Mr. Zhao Wen, and Ms. Mickey Lauer, please join the picture.
有请亚军选手塞瓦斯托娃、颁奖嘉宾赵文先生、米奇劳勒女士与冠军选手共同合影。
Thanks to our presenters. Now let's invite Mr. Wang Zhong to talk with the players.
再一次感谢颁奖嘉宾。现在让我们有请王东先生对冠亚军选手进行现场采访。
谢谢 ，Thank you。想必大家一定想知道冠亚军此时此刻的心声哈。我们从亚军开始 ，Let's start with the run-up here. Anastasia, I know might be a little bit disappointed, you might be. However, regardless of the result, today you did well, and also you had an amazing run in Beijing, didn't you?
Yeah, it was one of the best tournaments ever. Thanks. First of all, congrats, Caroline. She played amazing today. It's always tough playing against her. I never won, but I hope we will play next time, and I hope I get the chance again.
首先，他还是把溢美之词送给了 Caroline 沃兹。他认为这是过去4次跟他打比赛，包括这次是第5次都没有赢他，希望下一次比赛能够战胜他。但是他要祝贺沃兹，同时他甚至表示这是他最喜爱的赛事之一，很开心在这度过了美好的时光。So I understand you do have a lot of supporters as well. You have audience, waving your flag, everything. I'm sure you would like to say a few words to them as well.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, everyone here. I mean, it's been full here. It's great support. Also, some people from Latvia. We're a small country, but we're everywhere, obviously. Thank you, WTA. It's an amazing tournament here. All the sponsors, China Life, Citibank, Mercedes-Benz. It's one of the best tournaments of the year. It's premier mandatory. It's always a pleasure to play here. Yeah.
We are very happy to have you here. Once again, congratulations. 刚才我们看到的这个 Anastasija 也表示，他说这个赛事是可以说是最高级的顶级赛事、强制赛事中最优秀的赛事。他非常开心来到这参加比赛。他也是认为还有拉脱维亚的观众为他加油。拉脱维亚是一个小国，尽管如此，他们的热情也感动着他。他也是非常开心能够到这儿打比赛。他也是再次的感谢了组委会，感谢了赞助商，感谢促成赛事的各方代表。我们女士们、先生们，再次把掌声送给我们的亚军得主 Anastasija. Congratulations to you, Anastasija. Thank you very much indeed. Now, let's talk to the champion, Caroline. It's been a while since you won the trophy here last time, and you mentioned to me 8 is your lucky number. Guess what? It is also our Chinese lucky number. 8 years later, you repeated history. You must have a lot to say. Your take on that?
Yeah, definitely. China holds a special place in my heart. I became #1 here for the first time many years ago, and
8 years ago.
8 years ago, and obviously I've had great experiences here. I want to thank everybody who puts this tournament together, the tournament director, everyone who helps, the volunteers, the ball kids, the umpires, the linesmen, everyone. You really make it special for us, and I want to thank the sponsors for making this tournament happen. It's an amazing event. It's a huge event, and we all love coming back here. I also want to thank my team, of course. Michael, thank you for being here and
your father
and helping me out. And of course, my dad, who's always there and who's always been there with me since the start. So thank you so much. I also want to thank and apologize to Anastasija for today. Still a great event, great week, and we always have tough matches, and I'm sure we'll have many more in the future. But still a great week, and I'm sorry.
Let me do some translation if you don't mind. Actually, 他确实表示的说是首先向对手表示歉意，因为确实对手打得也很好，但是今天他又胜出了。希望他以后还可以有更多的精彩的比赛和 Anastasija 一起为大家呈现。他也是表示8年前曾经在这儿获得过冠军，而且因为获得那个冠军呢，是登上了世界排名第1的宝座。我说仅仅是8年而已。他说过去了很长时间了，8年以后才能够重温这段历史，重新的再次的捧起这座奖杯，非常的开心。因此呢，他也是感谢促成赛事的所有各方、赞助商，还有大会组委会以及赛事总监等等方面。他更感谢自己的团队，感谢自己的父亲陪伴着他，使他有今天这样的成就。Okay, more to add?
I only have a couple more things. I promise.
Please.
I want to thank all the fans who've been amazing all week. I've seen Danish flags, I've seen everyone supporting me, and it's been really amazing. So thank you so much. And then I also want to thank my family at home, David, who's been watching in the middle of the night, my mom, my dog, and of course my brother and my sister-in-law and all my friends. So thank you so much.
All right， 他说真的是要感谢各方好，这是各方面的代表，尤其是家人，远在丹麦的家人，包括他的这个爱犬等等，他都要感谢，他真是非常的开心。所以说，我们也是希望他能够在明年再次回来卫冕。We certainly look forward to your defending your title next year. How's that?
Well, I hope so.
All right, there you go. 他希望也是如此。女士们、先生们，我们再次把掌声送给沃兹尼亚奇，祝贺他获得了冠军奖杯，获得了冠军头衔。Anastasija, please join Caroline right there. 女士们、先生们，我们再次向大家呈现亚军和冠军女子单打的冠亚军得主。
Ladies and gentlemen, let's invite co-tournament directors Mr. Alfred John and Mr. Thomas Rose to take a picture with our players.
Well, her third title of 2018 puts her at number 30 for her career. Caroline Wozniacki, champion of the China Open for a second time, 8 years removed from her first triumph. And a lot of history here, as mentioned in the post-match interview, Sophie, about the fact that not only did she win the premier mandatory title here back in 2010, she ascended to number 1, something she's one spot from reclaiming again.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at the ranking, I think she has a chance to even reclaim that by the end of the year if she was to win the WTA finals, which she did last year, and finished the year with
champion of the women's singles in 2018 China
Open. In her tennis, she's been playing so much better. She's moving so well. She just drives everybody crazy on the outside of the net. And, I mean, this is her strength. She's going to make you hit tons of balls, and if you're not here to rally with her for hours and hours, it's not going to happen for you.
Yeah, if you think it's a sprint, well, you're mistaken. This is the marathon woman, literally and figuratively, as she ran through the tournament without dropping a single set to win the trophy on the year. Joining now Serena Williams, Svetlana Kuznetsova, and Agnieszka Radwanska as the only players to win this title multiple times. And it sets the stage now for Wozniacki to prepare for Singapore. One of 5 women who have qualified already. Those last 3 spots remaining over the course of now 2 weeks left to play to qualify. Svitolina, Stevens, and Pliskova seem to be in the driver's seat with Bertens and Mertens close by. That's going to put a lot of attention on Tianjin, on Hong Kong, and Linz this week, and Moscow and Luxembourg next week.
Yeah, they're all playing, trying to get those last points and the precious points to qualify for the WTA finals. It is so exciting. It's an exciting tournament, so please tune in because you're going to see some great tennis at the end of the year here.
Yeah, our coverage will continue as Svitolina will be the top seed in Hong Kong, Pliskova the top seed in Tianjin. There's still a lot of room for players to work into those last 3 spots for Singapore, and then the week after it'll be the WTA Elite Trophy in Zhuhai. But tonight the day belongs to Caroline Wozniacki, triumphing once more. 8's her lucky number. Well, she is the winner in 2018, 8 years after she won her first title in Beijing. That's going to do it for our coverage of the China Open. Sophie, always a pleasure. We'll see you down the road indeed.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for being with me, Kevin, throughout this tournament.
Bonjour, always a pleasure. And for you, tennis fan, we say sheshe. Thank you for joining us for our coverage of the last premier mandatory title of 2018. But the season's not done, so stay with us as we allow 2018 to unfold these last 4 weeks. But for now, we say zaijian, goodbye and farewell from Beijing and the 2018 China Open.